Welcome back to this episode of the Molloy Twins podcast, and this is part of our Liverpool Tour. And before getting into the episode, we want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors who helped make this happen. Be the Difference 1-to-1 Training is a Dublin-based supplemental football coaching service that offers both private and group sessions as well as camps to help you build confidence, develop skills and eliminate weaknesses so that you can become the best version of yourself both on and off the pitch. They serve players from the age of 4 years old right up and have an extensive history working with underage players right up to the professional game. So if you're serious about improving as a footballer, then this is the place for you. You can find them on Instagram or TikTok at BTD121 Training or online at www.btd121 Training. Everything will be linked in the description. Welcome back to the Molloy Twins podcast, and today we have the pleasure of being joined by UFC superstar Molly McCann. Molly, thank you for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure.
Well, thanks for flying over or getting the ferry, which one it was.
The ferry.
Yeah. Did you drive then?
We did. Speaking of driving, we have to start off with a story about a car.
Yeah.
Molly's car specifically.
Yeah. I've just pulled up then outside. I was teaching you about Scouse Park and we're nice. So I basically said, just park on the side, me, and then we call it Scouse Park. And then if you get a ticket, you do, but if you don't, you don't. And I thought, I've got some... like me fighting gear and everything's in the car, so I thought I'll park in that car park. Anyway, these about 6, rough sleepers having a bit of a bad time, and they're all biz when I've bounced in. Oh, meatball, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, I shouldn't think this, but what if they go through my car and take what's in my car? So I thought, hey lads, just want a job? And they went, yeah. I went, take that. I said, watch this car and don't let no one fucking rob anything out of it. And he was like, yes, Mal. So I've got like 6 bodyguards outside. Anything else you need? We've got it. Yeah, so safe car, so I can be at ease now that we're doing this.
To Liverpool, we just paid for parking across the street, but we didn't get the VIP service. No.
And now hopefully they'll give it a wash.
Should have shown an extra fiver.
Yeah.
Lovely. We always like to kick off with a little bit of quick fire questions before getting into the juicy stuff. So we'll start off nice and easy. And for you, I was curious, growing up, who would be the sporting heroes you would have been looking up to?
I think it would have still been Katie Taylor.
Okay.
Wayne Rooney.
Yes.
Thierry Henry. Roy Jones Jr.
Okay. That's an interesting mix. Yeah. With Katie, in case anyone's not familiar, there's a family tie for you and Katie. As she was coming up, and like she was so highly rated for as long as I can remember, both as a footballer and a boxer. Were you clued in as she was on the rise in terms of like her progression?
Well, yeah and no. I just remember being in the gym in the Golden Gloves year, and my coach had just been away with England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. I think it's called the 4 Nations, 6 Nations, the Box Cup, whatever it was. And this was like 2006. And he had a camcorder. He went, come here. He said, I want you to start throwing your left hooks like this girl. 10 years passed then. A couple of years passed. I won loads of bits in boxing as well. And then I ended up jibbing it. But it was funny because we ended up realising it was actually Katie. And I was watching Katie, it was from Team Ireland, here and Pete just practising that left hook. And like even now in MMA, when I've been like against it in these fights, like there was one fight where it broke my orbital bone, I had one eye. And the way I won is when she was running at me, I was just going back to that check hook. And it was mad because that's the shot that's probably won me most of my fights is that left shot. So
great.
Yeah.
Strong genes.
Strong genes, because I was speaking to Amar Bridgie and I think we was in New York when she beat Serrano. So we flew over to go and watch it. She was like, it's the women who've got it. It's the fucking women who've got it. And I was like, no, I know it is. And it was mad. I used to play football for Liverpool and I used to box, and then she used to play and she was at Ireland and she used to box. So I was like, it really is in the genes, like.
Yeah, because Pete, we had Pete on the podcast and he was saying, I didn't even know he has sons. It's not just Katie, like she has brothers. Yeah. And none of them went in to be like pro boxers or anything. It's just Katie.
No, yeah. These 4 of them, isn't there?
Yes, yeah.
2 girls, 2 boys.
So it's just the women. That's it.
Hard knocks.
Yeah, definitely. I was watching a video of you earlier. I think it was on ESPN or something like that. But they were listing off UFC fighters and you had to use one word to describe them. But they missed the trick. They didn't ask you to describe yourself. No. So if I had to ask you, what's one word you would use to describe yourself as a fighter?
As a person or as a fighter?
We'll go both. If you're interested in see if there's any similarities.
I think as a fighter, showwoman.
Yeah.
If you're a they, them, she, he, whichever one you want.
A show they.
Yeah. Then we're good with everyone.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, when I get in there, I just want to put on a performance for the fans and like make sure that people are paying, right, especially Scousers. I know Irish is actually the same. You're looking 200-300 quid a ticket, 200-400 quid an outfit and shoes.
Yeah.
Hotel, 100 to 200 quid.
Yeah.
Ale, don't even want to get into it. The rest, don't even want to get into it.
Yeah.
So that's like a couple of grand just to come and watch us fight. And then that's in England. That's not even abroad. And you think, I need to be matching my fighting style, my ability, my techniques needs to be matching how much that they're bringing to the table as well. So I just try to give everyone the best experience, all the heart, all the punches or the kicks or the knees or the elbows or the tears, the fucking lot, do you know what I mean? But that you go and go, she fucking done that, she's done well there, she's done that for us, do you know what I mean?
Spectacle kind of thing.
And I think as a person, I just say soft.
Yeah.
I think, like, if you speak to anyone who knows me on a level, there's no nastiness, there's no anger, unless you cross me, like, but it's just like, I am fucking cry all the time, do you know what I mean? I'm a proper bitch. And only I can say that.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I did. I'm out of punching range, I might say. What's your favourite part about being a professional fighter?
I think you get to make people proud. You bring... Your culture is my culture is your culture. It's all the same. We all grew up quite similar, but it's like your little fame, your family, your friends. When I don't mean to just reel off Conor, but when one makes it, you all make it. Yeah. When you're from somewhere that's quite impoverished or depleted and there's not much going on there, it's like, well, everyone's like boasting about you or bragging about you, so you've got to put on for them, do you know what I mean? And you bring everyone along with the ride, with the ups and with the downs. Like my family, my mates have been here from the beginning and they've not faltered. They've not left, and we don't really have the Klingons, do you know what I mean? Like we're our lot and that's it. So I think that's kind of it, to make everyone proud.
It's a great answer. Flip side, if you weren't a fighter, what do you think you would have been?
PE teacher.
Yeah.
Got a degree and that's what I would have done, yeah.
Nice. Did you pursue that kind of career as a backup plan, or was that the plan for a while?
When I was 16, I got signed for Liverpool, and 16 to 20, my ma was basically like, you can play football, but you've got to go to college and have something behind you.
Right, yeah.
So I was just doing like coaching qualifications, and then when I was 19, I'd done an access course, and then I went to uni, and I thought, I'm going to jib footy, and jib boxing. My weight didn't go to the Olympics, the 2012 games, so I thought, fuck that, I'm not, there wasn't pro boxing then. And I was at uni doing a PE teaching degree, and it was literally the last 2 months of uni when I was finishing my dissertation. Just the 051 across the road, literally there, I ended up walking into that gym, and it changed my life. And I finished the degree and I passed, but I didn't go in for the last 2 months. I just went straight to the gym, and then that's literally how I fell into MMA by accident.
That's crazy. And it's mad how many stories are similar to that. Yeah. Like even Shem, who we were just chatting to earlier, like, and then how quickly things just progress from there, and obviously getting to the stage that you're at now, it's phenomenal. When you've got a feel, and you know, like with your podcast and stuff, like when you feel it, doesn't matter, like you will make it successful. If you want to breathe as much as you want to succeed, you will breathe. Do you know what I mean? Like if you want something to be successful, you apply yourself fully to it and you will be. Do you know what I mean? Walking away from football and from boxing, was that a tough decision to make? Yeah. Football, I loved that more than fighting. Really? Yeah. I was just always better at fighting than I was football because I was too small. I'm 57 kilo now. I must have been about 48 kilo. Pissed wet through, like dripping wet. Do you know what I mean? Like, full English breakfast. Yeah. And I was just too small. I wasn't strong enough. And what position did you play? Left mid or up front or centre, like anywhere that side of the pitch. But I was flying. I mean, like that. I thought I was Roy Keane. Like, do you know what I mean? I did think I was Roy Keane, but
yeah, Everton was the best team and I wasn't so great. So Liverpool was the lesser team.
Okay.
So I played there, but it took me around the world, like playing football. Like I ended up coaching in America. I ended up volunteering out in Africa, coaching for the FA out there.
Deadly.
And taught me how to transfer skills. And like, I'm not academic in the sense of, I'm not great at writing.
Yeah.
But like, if I've got a lesson plan and I've got to teach 200 people X, Y, Z, I am going to get like, I can do that bit. And it showed me how to transfer the skills. And then when I started fighting, I was able to identify, like, I don't learn that way.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be good at that. Let's mix it like this. And I think my coaches have said, like, I've made them better coaches and they've made me the best fighter that I can be, because I'm like, lads think they know best in a fighting gym, whereas girls will ask fucking 700 million questions.
Yeah.
Like me and Sean O'Bannon or Liam McCaw, like, put us on a jiu-jitsu mat and be like, me and Sean call it the remix. Like, so like, say if the coaches, Paddy O'Houlihan or Ellis or Paul Rimmers taught us something, we'll just do our own thing on it. It's like, the Sean O'Bannon remix, you know what I mean? And then, we do learn better that way, I think, but yeah.
No, I like it. Last quick fire for me. And speaking of Shauna Bannon, we have to give her a shout out because she made this possible.
Thank you.
So thank you, Shauna. But when we had her on the podcast, she was talking about the different work she was doing with like a sports psychologist kind of thing, and a mantra that she had where it's like, my best is the best in the world. And that's what she was repeating to herself. Do you have any kind of mantras or mottos you repeat to yourself?
100%, yeah. I'm too strong, I'm too fast, I'm too fucking good. I'm powerful and successful beyond measure. Anyone's life I touch, I change. I'm due a loss, but not today. Not fucking today. That's what I say as I'm walking every morning and as I'm walking down them steps. I'd close my eyes so I remember it, but... Yeah. I think when I was in Thailand with her, I was showing her like my journaling techniques and how I work and what I go through. And I think most good sports psychologists will make you get that mantra. Like you look at Rose Namajunas. You look like she says like the Lord's Prayer. Do you know what I mean? And she's saying all of her stuff. And I just think you just have to believe. Like, you have to believe what you're saying. Otherwise, the universe isn't going to give you that back. God's not going to give you that back. Do you know what I mean? Whoever your maker is or whatever you believe in, you have to believe it in here when you're speaking it out there.
Love it. Take me back to walking into that gym down the road the first time and stepping into it. What year would this have been around, by the way, for context?
2013. February 27th or 23rd. February 23rd, 2013.
Safe.
Finished the shift at Subway. There.
You walked in Subway? Hence
that's
the
where
meatball.
The meatball. Lad, I'll literally take you to there. Literally there.
That's where we're going for dinner later.
Literally there. Walked up the road, just we can see it right here. I knew all the lads in there because I partied with some of them, and some of them worked all on the doors. I remember walking in and just being like, I'd emailed Paul, I want to be like Ronda Rousey, I want to fucking do this. He's like, sound. So I come in and he goes, right, we're not boxing. I was like, oh, he's like, this is jiu-jitsu. He's like, I'm going to teach you the armbar. I'm going to teach you Ronda Rousey's special move. And I just thought, oh, this is minty. Like, it stinks. Everyone's sweating on you. It's fucking freezing because it's February. Do you know what I mean? You know what February's like? You're still getting the showers. You're still getting like a bits of snow. And I just walked in and I thought, oh, I'm shite. I am shite at this. And I'm gone from being English champion at boxing to being absolute dog poo at that. So that was me. 5-6 hours a day. Me, Adam Ventry, Adam Wilson, Paddy, Ellis Hampson, and Chris Fishgold. They was like, that was who I train with every day.
Right.
And it's mad because like my coaches, Ellis Hampson retired so we could make me and Paddy world champions and be who we are. Adam Ventry done the same. Do you know what I mean? They realised there may be a ceiling to what they can do, achieve because they're coaching and they can't coach and train. So I think it was very selfless of them to do what they've chose to do. However, all of our lives have changed for the better because of it. So
yeah, what you said earlier, when one of yous win, everyone wins.
Exactly, and we're all living well, eating good. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was mad. It was like just a family from the minute you walked in. We all gravitated towards each other, and that's how it was. I think they went a bit from a transition to where it was a bit like old school, and then as we all became professionals together, it got tight because that fight team was there. He's never really had a big fight team like what Paul has at the time, and then all for one and one for all.
Yeah, it does feel like, because obviously
I think you can see it.
Yeah, 100%.
You can feel it around the
Shen
place.
weren't even at our gym, and when he was on the run, he done this really sick fucking finish where he like muffled the girl. He choked him like that in Malaysia, and we all messaged him like, "You're fucking heavy. If you ever want to come here, you can." And after he got out of Nick, he came and he was just like, "What? This is like proper family." And I was like, "It is, lad. Like no one's going to try and do you in unless we're in sparring rounds."
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he spoke about that as well on the podcast. But I want to say to you, because I may be wrong on this, was it after 9 fights, like amateur and professional combined, that you signed to the UFC?
Yeah.
So what was the split of amateur to professional, if you remember?
7. I was 10. 7 pro. 3 army.
Okay, so 10 fights total signed to the biggest fight organisation in the world.
So I'll tell you now, the people who were in like IMAF and all of that, they have 20 to 30 amateur fights.
Yeah.
So you look at my professional record and there's a high level. There's 6 losses on there. And predominantly I'd say 3/4 of them were juiceheads and got popped for steroids.
Really? Yeah.
And the other like percentage were massively bigger and better than me at jiu-jitsu. And it's taken me time to adjust, to learn on the job. And that's what I say to everyone. It's like, I'm not ashamed of losing. Like, no airs or graces, warts and all. Like, I am here. I'm being vulnerable. I'm showing you me good days. I'm a kid, as in Ireland you would say, from the flats. Like, I'm a kid from the estate. Like, you see me live me wildest dreams. So if I'm buzzing, don't be jealous and don't go, "Oh, what a fucking dickhead." Go, "Oh, good for her, fucking good for her." And when I'm down and I've lost the fight, I'm being honest enough to show you the pain, to show you like, I'm fucking low here, I'm struggling, this, that and the other. Like, we don't get praised enough for both sides. But
yes,
to be signed from February 23rd, 2013, 5 years to that date, I headlined the arena and won a world title in there. 5 years to that fucking day. On that day, I won a world title. 2 weeks later, I signed with the UFC. So it was a lot.
That's a roller coaster. Yeah.
It was a lot. And it's exactly the same as Shauna's journey.
Yeah.
Took a fight on short notice, didn't have enough time to prep, lost. Had a year off nearly. Get to come back in the major, biggest way. You know what to expect, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
definitely. And I think you've seen, obviously, I heard of you before Paddy got into the UFC, but like, especially since Paddy's been in there, the two Scousers together,
100%.
it's taken to a new level.
Yeah, I think I've got it on my ankle, like my first step I take anywhere is Liverpool. I've got the tattoo there, my city, my people, my heart. He is a big red, I'm a big blue. You get big fighters who come from the city. It's like anywhere in Ireland, you GAA, football or fighting. That's what, or play music or drink. That's what we do. That's what we do. But with me and him, our identity is being a Scouser first and foremost. So like Ireland's, like you wear that as your badge of honour. Oh, sorry. That's your badge of honour. That's what you're proud of, because you're proud of the people, the culture, just everything about it. And for us, because we wear that, and it gets us in so much shit, because we're not loved. Scousers aren't loved around the world. No. Do you know what I mean? And we're always seen to be like moaning or this, that and the other, because it's never fair. It's never been fair for us, do you know what I mean? I think that's why we don't change who we are. We stick to who we are. And when we fight together, when it was in Cage Warriors and when it's here, we are always bringing something a bit different. Do you know, like, say when the Bellator show used to go to the Free Arena, and you'd had Peter Queally walk out to Zombie, you'd had Kiefer walk out, you'd had James Gallagher, you'd had Leah, like, you had Sinead, you just had everyone. Yeah. And it was yours. And it was, they're us, they're doing what we want and we back them. And it's just the same here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, for sure. I think I'll be interested to know the answer to this question for you, because I think in Ireland there's this like perspective where
almost like a crabs in the bucket kind of mentality where everyone wants everyone to do well, but not better than them.
Yeah.
And once you kind of reach a certain threshold, the love tends to turn to judgment and hate and suspicion. Is it similar over here in Liverpool, do you feel?
Yeah and no. I think and what I've realised now is I always thought it was like little town mentality. I thought it was real Belfast thing. I thought it was real Liverpool thing and real Dublin thing. And then what I realised is people want you to see you do well, but not too well.
Yeah.
Do you know? And then what I realised again through my life, because my career's gone like this, is the world's fucking fickle. When you lose, you can't, like, no one can stand you, like, online. Obviously, everyone, I'm loved. And when you win, you're the best thing since sliced bread. And I think because I've seen it, it doesn't really get to me. But when you first kick in, everyone loves you. And then you get to a point where they've had enough because it's fucking down everyone's throat.
Yeah.
And then you give it some time and then they come round again. Like me and Paddy, everyone loved us. Everyone loved us together. Everyone couldn't stand us together. Then he won, then I won, and then this telly show's come out.
Yes.
And you can actually see us for who we are and not who you think we are. And then you see, like, we just live normal lives.
Yeah.
Go to Chippy, go to Mackey's, train, same shit that you go through. But we're doing it in front of people, being brave enough to do that. And then I think maybe in 6 months, maybe in 2 years, it might change again. But it might. I think we're kind of at the place where they kind of know what we're about now. Do you know what I mean? And you look at Tyson Fury, loved, hated. It's just, it is what it is, but it's no skin off my nose. You could say anything about any one of my family members, anything about myself, and I'm over it now. I've done too much therapy to give a fuck about John from Staines. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm done. It's like me, I'm just asked about me now.
Yeah. Beautiful. For you, Molly, as an outsider who was watching the rides, I felt like there was a real moment where, like, shit, you know, like everything from the outside looking in looked like this is just, her life is completely transformed and changed. What for you was that moment you feel like everything kind of turned and you became Meatball Molly McCann, the superstar?
When me and Paddy fought in Vegas together, I got the 50G for fight tonight and he got 50. No. I fought a Korean. I'd lost 2 fights back to back. And if I lost this, it was my last fight and my contract done. It's Paddy's debut.
Oh, yes.
I come out first, took headbutt in the first round, dropped me, come back, smashed it to bits, broke my hand in that fight. Won anyway. He won. The Michael Bisbin went, "How do you feel, Mal?" And I went, "I just want a bevy, lad. I'm buzzing." Like, and when I said that, it was like my life changed from that. I was never the same again. In terms of global, the elbow, it was like The Rock was treating me fucking Drake bought, and then after that, like, Drake bought us a rollie, and then we got and then we got these big, like, Drake put 2 mil on me and Pad to win, and then we won, and we're out here with Stormzy, or we're out here, like, he's going to Silverstone, I'm at, like, it was just mad. Like, me and him are flying around the world, flying to Arizona, Las Vegas, San Diego, Chicago, just like being wined and dined. Like, we was just still these 2 kids, like, right, there's a dispensary there, let's go and, like, get on it. Or I'm like, there's ale there, like, I want a Guinness there, or like, chicken wings. And like, we were like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a point when me and Patrick was so fucking fat, like, in our faces, and it was just like, it was just living our dream. And then it started to take its toll, and it was like 18 months of non-stop, this every day, 3 of these minimum a week, cameras in the gym, everything, no more privacy, can't go out. And it was like, how do you adjust to that? And there was a point for me, I won 3 fights back to back, about to fight in Madison Square Garden, and I'm at my lowest, honestly, ready to do myself in, having these thoughts, thinking, how am I going to do it? Can't leave everyone behind, blah, blah. And I had to ring my mum and be like, "Mum, you need to come to Liverpool. Like, I need a bit of help here," because it just gets on top of you. Like, you think, like, when I look at the likes of some fighters, I actually won't say names, but fighters who start losing the plot, but it doesn't look like they're losing the plot, but they're going out drinking, they're going out doing a bit of madness. It's because no one should be famous. No one's central nervous system should be firing all day, every day. No one should be under that much spotlight it's either narcissistic and they need it to feel good about themselves, or like just no one else should be. It's just not right. Like it's not. Do you know what I mean? You should have a proper bit of rest from it, and that's what I had to learn through the madness. It changed my life, and I'm grateful for it. And I like when I write, I'll pray every morning, and then I'll write my gratitude. And one of the first thing I normally say is I'm thankful for my health and my family. And then the next thing is my talent and my application of self. Like, and I'm so thankful and grateful for my talent that gives me this life. And how I choose to apply myself to it. And it took, I'd say up until last November. When me and Shauna came back from Thailand, I had this moment, like, I was like, when we go back, that is it now. That's fucking it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am not taking on no more like, we went out there as broken people, and it's like, honestly, we just like had this like proper heat, like we just proper healed together. Like we'd be training in Bangtao one day and then getting a 2 hour, like I'd ride us, it takes 2 hours on the bike, or we get a taxi to the other side of the island to train with John Boy. And like we wouldn't even be speaking, we'd have our headphones on, and like I'd be crying, look at her, she'd be crying, like just like hold each other's hands and go, this is like special. This is like, we're going to fucking change our lives. Like this next fight's going to be fucking different, blah, blah, blah. And it was for me. I got to fight in February. She had the injury in her knee. And, but I know, like for us, that was like this little part of our life and this little bit of trauma, and that we've gone, fuck off. So she's like, I couldn't give a fuck. See what they're saying about me lips and that. It's like, I loved them. I was like, well, at least you're not getting called this, and this. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, if people are talking about you and giving you that, you're not a flash in the pan.
No.
And then you've got a bit of longevity too, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I heard you speak about some of this on the High Performance podcast, and it's such an interesting point, because you're right, no one really prepares people to deal with the heights that come. You look at, say, Molly, who's winning fights, making money, getting to do all this cool stuff, and like, she doesn't have anything to worry about. She has no problems. So you don't consider all the downsides that come with that. Yeah, exactly.
Problems change. So it's like, like I would do 20 PTs a week to earn money to live. So we weren't getting much sponsorship, and we weren't making money fighting. Even in the UFC until I was 31, I still had another job.
Really?
I was still PTing. I was still coaching. I weren't just living the fight life until lockdown, just before lockdown.
Right.
Just before lockdown, so everyone in every walk of life, you just start doing well for yourself, and the pressure becomes different. Fuck, we've got to get this many viewers. If not, then we're not going to get this. Like, our pressures all change, and we're thankful that it's first world problems. Do you know what I mean?
It's not food in the fridge.
Too many people are fucking staring at me. Like, when I was in Chicago, there's a woman called Candace Parker.
Oh, okay.
Who's Candace Owens?
She's in a politics.
Oh shit,
commentator.
Yeah, bit of a dickhead here. That's just very right wing. She stands on well and she speaks well, so I can respect her for what she does. Candace Parker had a kid when she was like 18, went and played like women's NBA. She's like the Michael Jordan, the female Michael Jordan, was playing in Chicago. So I went to watch her, my fucking hero. And I went and sat with her after the game, and we was chatting. I was speaking to her wife and her kids, and I was like, how are you dealing with this? And she went, I don't have to, I get to. I was like, oh, right. And then that last fight camp, when I was dropping the weight, I was like, fucking Christmas Day, we've all gone out for Christmas dinner in Tenerife, Paddy, me, fucking my ex, her family, fucking everyone's there. And I leave the table, didn't get a Christmas dinner. Oh, I ate a tiny bit and left the table. And he's going, where you go? I was going for the 10K. And I was like, what, it's fucking Christmas Day. I was like, I've got fucking weight to make. And they was like, oh, and I was like, don't feel sorry for me. I get to do this. I don't want to do it. I want to win. I want the glory. I want, like, you just have to reframe. And I think that takes a lot of work to do, and a lot of like being okay in here and in here. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck me. If we'd looked at me 7 years ago, I was nursing my dad to death, working 40 hours a week, training full time, sleeping on couches, up and down the country, trying to make it work. that Molly would have given would have fucking chopped her arm off to be this Molly. Do you know what I mean? So you got to take it on the chin sometimes.
Oh man, that's powerful. You seem to have, I don't know what you were like before we met you today, but you seem to have a huge amount of self-awareness and self-reflection. Was that always kind of a part of your life, or just something you've developed over time?
I think I am emotionally stimulated, like my ADHD, and if I'm like hyper and overstimulated, I struggle. Like, say if I've got a hip pads and there's a lot going on in the gym, it's tough because there's that much going on. But I'm self-aware enough to go through living life now. Hey, Elle, can we go in that corner? Can I put my music on to override all that? My last relationship that I've just come out of, well, not just, but recently come out of, like I was engaged, house, dogs, ready for this for the rest of my life. And my self-awareness, the more therapy I was doing, the more I was like, oh, and then she was getting involved in it as well. I was like, this isn't good enough for you and it's not good enough for me. Like, you want this and I want this. Let's go and take this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a big toxic finish.
Yeah.
Whereas all my other relationships maybe would have been.
Yes.
And I'm proud of us both for handling this one in the way that we have. And I just think if I hadn't have been through life as much as I have, in a fight camp, when you're dieting, it's hard to be rational.
Of course. Yeah.
Out of fight camp as an adult, I couldn't be any more proud of the person that I am, how I approach each day and how I turn up and how I am accountable. Like, you could watch interviews of me 7-8 years ago and who you're looking at isn't this now.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean? And even back to the high performance one, like, this is when my life was starting to change. I was really starting to do the work on myself.
Yes,
because I just come through the badness. I'd say the last 3 years I've had the biggest, because of the fame. I don't like saying fame, but the notoriety. Because of it all, I get it. And you said how many fights before you was professional in the UFC? There's 10 fights there. So I've had to grow up spiritually, physically and mentally in front of the world. And I've made me mistakes. I've got fucking wrecked after press conferences, not able to speak in an interview. But some people see that as I'm a bit more human, do you know what I mean? Like, choice of language, not always the best. But I don't know. I hang my hat on who I am and what. If I make a mistake, then I'm choosing to make that mistake and I'll stand on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, put your hand up, fact. And something that really stood out for me during that podcast was you mentioned that a big insight that you had from all that reflection was you call it being like a people pleaser and almost giving too much of yourself away. And then realising, actually, when I'm giving all this to everyone, everything else, all the media people who want you, all the family, friends, everything else, like, it just leaves me in a place then where I've nothing left from Molly. And I'm sure there's tons of people who are watching who probably feel similar and reflect on similar things. What helped you overcome that?
There was nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I was on my knees, I was on the floor, I just give everything to everyone. And I've done so much therapy since last November. We're in July now.
Yeah.
So much trauma therapy. And I just realised if I'm winning and fighting, or if I'm making people happy, I feel fulfilled. So I had to change that.
Yes.
So, the therapist basically just said, like, I had abandonment stuff and I was only feeling positive when I was in the gym and I was boxing, playing football or fighting and I was winning and I'd get the arms around me and that's when I was like, oh, I feel love. So when I lose, I feel even worse because then the rejection sensitivity is there from the ADHD. Then I'm feeling the abandonment again from all that stuff. And when we was really working it was like when my dad passed, I didn't grieve. The day he died, I had to sleep and then I went on a run and then I fought 5 weeks later and every day I had just been fighting that and fighting that and fighting that. I've got to make him proud. I've got to do this. I've got to look after this. I've got to do that. And then they was like, you can compartmentalise it all. You can push it down. And I'd done that my whole life. And then there was just nowhere else. It was full, lads. I was like a bin. There was nowhere else to fill. And,
the purple bins.
The purple bin was full. And I just had to get out there and just work through it all. And when we worked through it all, just had to work through the trauma, and it was just fucking horrible. Honestly, since last November, even though I've won my fight, unreal. Like professionally, best 8 months, 9 months of my life. Personally, the 9 most painful months of my life, but have led me to be standing here. Just like I've got, like I suppose we'll never always have it together.
That's it, yeah.
But every day I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can, and the people pleasing, the circumstance as to why I broke up with my partner. I chose, and we chose to break up, so we weren't people pleasing, and we were looking after each other.
Compromising or settling.
We're not, we had kind of done that in different ways, and then realised actually I'm going to be better a person, and I'm going to feel better, and I'm going to thrive more, possibly on my own that way.
Yes.
And you've made your bed, and you've chose to go and do that, so you can go and do that yourself. And then that's kind of, it's as simple as that.
It's the mature way to make
I never
those
thought
calls.
I'd have it in me, to be fair, and don't get me wrong.
Oh, I'm sure
I
it is.
probably didn't say it as well as that. It probably took me a couple of attempts to get it out that way.
I'll send you a voice message.
Yeah, but I got there in the end. You know what I mean?
Well, I respect that loads massively, and I think, unfortunately, if a lot of people done the work, they probably come to similar sort of conclusions within their own relationships, their own lives, and lots of stuff that they have going on.
Well, listen, when I was doing the therapy, and I think I even said this to Fern Cotton on her podcast, we just talked about it, and if I had known how painful this bit would have been, I wouldn't have fucking done it.
Up for it.
Not a fucking chance. And my mom has always said, don't do all this till after you've finished fighting. And I was like, she's a therapist, she's done it all. She's done the work on herself, but she's always kind of said, like, she obviously knew all of my triggers, all of this. She can't tell me about myself till I'm ready. And I think every time you try to save someone, you're taking away their chance to save themselves.
Right, yes, yeah.
So the best thing about my ma, like when I was on my knees and I was ready to do it, like I was just not ready to keep living. Like my ex-Alice was like, what are we going to do, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you're going to see her on her knees, you're going to let her cry, you're going to fucking let her get on with it, because she's been in worse places and she will get through this. And you've got to let her do it herself. Do you know what I mean? And she did. And she'll give me a hug. My ma will look after me.
Yeah.
But she's like, you've got to do, like, I'm not going to fix you. You've got to do this. And that's why I'm who I am. And that's why I can get through what I can get through. Do you know what I mean?
That's massive.
Yeah, that's huge. That's powerful. And especially like you only started the kind of that whole journey in November, say, of the therapy and everything else. You fought then in February.
Mm-hmm.
Does going into those places, opening up those wounds while preparing for a fight, is that difficult to balance?
I had to say to him like 3 weeks before the last one, I was like, I can't keep doing it. It's called EDMR therapy, so it's like proper, like you don't have to speak.
It's eye related?
Yeah, eye related. And basically, there was a Canadian figure skater, couldn't do a free spins and landing.
Yeah. Okay.
So because they'd got injured, so they was in therapy and they was talking like flash therapy and all this shit. And as the therapist was talking to the athlete, like he moved his hand and he's seen that the athlete's eye stuck, and he was like starting to shake. And he's like, right, keep thinking about what are you thinking about? And he was telling him, he's like, keep focusing on that. And then he dropped it and then he put it back. He's like, right, think about it again. And then every time he was processing the feeling of the emotion. And then the next day he rang up the therapist or she, I can't remember now. I've gone and fucking smashed it. I've landed, I've done it. And what basically he was like, it's like trauma's stuck in the body. What you will know, like it's stuck in. And the only way to get it out is like, I suppose sometimes people might go and do ayahuasca and take drugs and this kind of thing, and you're shaking it out and you're purging it out.
Physical
But
release,
and this way is like through your body, you're just like looking, and your body is like, everyone will probably page different or process different. Yeah. Like when I'm working through mine, I get like really tired and my eyes won't stop blinking, and that's when I know I'm processing, and he'll have to wipe it out, and every time you think about it, you work through it. And like the first thing I worked through with him is like, right, we're going to start, we want you fighting And when you go into training and thinking about fighting, you're like, he's like, how do you feel now? I was like, oh, I'm not fucking getting in that case. And I was like, embarrassment, shame, and just heartbreak. And he's like, right, what's the feeling? I was like, being on the fucking floor, snapped arm, looking at Stormzy and Maya Jammer in bits, like, looking at Paddy in bits, going into the changing room, being that petrified about going online.
Yeah.
Like, I was ridiculed last July. It hits me now to think, fuck, I'm a big deal then. For that many people to, that's how I see it now. But then I was like, so I had to work through all of that.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where he's like, right, all that trauma's done now, about you fighting. And then he explained to me about, like, I had attached my abandonment trauma to fighting from my dad dying. So we worked through that. He's like, we'll fix the rest after the next one. So in February, I finished my fight. I'm on cloud 9. He goes, right, time to get to work on the rest. Do you know what I mean? So knowing myself and knowing my boundaries is like, come on then, let's go. Let's really dig fucking deep here. But it's like, he knew there was a certain point where he's like, you're too open now. Let's shut you off. Let's close you down. Put that to bed and then we'll come back for it. So therapy and working through your trauma. I think when you're a child from the 90s or the 80s, 70s or 60s, you've probably, like anyone in the 90s, I think just really probably has got so much generational cases and so much trauma that just gets systematically put down through years. It's a bit tough, and I think we should all do a little bit of work and consistent work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not what the man of the house would probably do back in the day, because you have to look a certain way. And I'm not asking you to be a snowflake. I'm not asking you to be out here and be the softest of the soft. A strong man protects his family and protects himself also. Do you know what I mean? Like, to the men listening, I'm not saying get the tissues out and you've got to, like, masculinity. Like, I don't know how to say the word. Like, you don't have to demasculate yourself, but you can stand there and go, how can I be a better man for my family? How can I show up better without coming home fuming, kicking off, shouting at my kids, and then giving them what you've probably
passing
been
that
through?
on, yeah.
I'm not just saying an Irish man, I'm saying it's Scouse, I'm saying everyone, and women, not just be quiet, sat in the corner, don't speak, or not fucking hit the men either because you're pissed off at what they've done. Let's work through it and see why. Just be better people, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What a message.
Well, I bet you weren't expecting this for a
Molly
podcast,
for
I'll
was
be
you?
honest, not that I was expecting it. I was kind of hoping for it, because I listened to some of you on Fearon's podcast, and then other things you've done, and mental health, like self-awareness, self-reflection seems to be coming up a lot more.
I just think this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I suppose people get to this point and then become shit at fighting because they're soft.
Yes.
And I'm just not there.
No, we were talking to you about sparring before this, and
no, she is. I am not
the intensity is still there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But do you find it hard to, like, I don't want to say soft mode and hard mode, but do you find it hard to go from Molly, who's at home and, like, she's self-aware and she takes care of herself and mentally, spiritually she's there, and Molly, who's in the cage throwing elbows and knocking out people? So
what I've realised is I've been fighting off fight or flight my whole career until the last 2 wins. It was just a fight. It was fucking chaos and I was fighting. And then the more work I've done, you look at that last fight that I won, I was just like, it was like the Matrix. I was just calm.
Yeah, you're phenomenal.
So impressive.
Yeah.
So
and
impressive.
then the last fight that I won before that was an elbow, but it weren't like the one where I nearly killed her.
Yeah.
And that was the same. Composed, calm. And if I think that way and I'm off flow, no one's got a chance. But I think this is what my last relationship probably struggled on a bit. Out of camp, I'm like all lovey. Oh my God, like you're my words. And then the second I am in camp, it's like boom. And the closer we're at this point now where we're 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
And I am struggling to switch off, because you have to just, like, you go into war, so you're prepping the body for that. And after a spar or after an intense session, I can't just come out of it. And Paddy's the same. It's like someone can say something and we'd be like, what?
Yes.
What? How was that funny? No.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, Liam McCann, like literally last week, I was like, and just left. And then an hour later, voice note was like, don't know if I was off key. I don't know if I was like rude. I didn't mean to be. If it was, the tone in which I spoke to wasn't acceptable. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I was like, I would never, ever, ever think to reach out or check in.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we don't have fucking time either. Like with it, like everyone gets it. But I just thought like, now I am trying to be
better.
Yeah. And I know like I still have my triggers. Like I know I could not probably speak to my ex because I would just probably be like, they don't deserve that and I don't deserve that. Do you know what I mean? So there's still work to be done. I'm not the finished article,
Molly,
but yeah.
Unfortunately.
I try.
So we spoke about off camera that I thought was such a great point. And it wasn't necessarily a point that was made, but was inferred, was after your last loss, which I think was against Stolyarenko, maybe.
Yeah.
You said that coming out of the changing room, or coming out at the cage into the changing room, your coach said, right, you're going down a weight class.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'm sure it was conversations that were probably happening leading into the fight or whatever else. But how important is it to be surrounded by people that won't always tell you maybe what you want to hear, but will just give you the strength, like, look, we need to drop weight.
Paul Rim would never. Do you know what? I walked into the back room and I retired from the sport.
Right.
I was done. So take me fucking gloves. I went, somehow Leah has arrived, like, somebody worked for the UFC scene and was like, right, go and look after her.
Right, yes.
Because my ma was like right at the back. And she took my phone, deleted Instagram. You know, like, you're not going on any of this, because it was like,
I can imagine.
And I just remember, and it wasn't straight away in the changing room. When we got back to the hotel, me and Sean was literally just sat there, just like this. And we, like, tears were just coming down our eyes, like, what the fuck do we do here? And Paul and the team was like, I think we need to drop your weight category. I was like, all right, okay. Next day, didn't sleep. Was getting the train back to Liverpool because we was flying to Kerry. I was going to Dingle on the Sunday, on the Monday. So, it's fucking lovely there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's unbelievable.
Nice spot.
And we, what's it called? So I was on our way back, and when we was in the Euston station, I kind of said to my ex and to my coach Adam, like, Paul had gone away with his wife. They gone to Starbucks. I went, I'm done, I think. I don't want to drop the weight. I said, it's hard enough making flyweight.
Yeah.
I haven't got it in me to be making that. And I'm done. And I went to McDonald's or something. I've gone to somewhere to get some scran. And Adam come over to me. And Adam fought Dylan Tuch. I'm not sure if you know him. It's one of the best fights you'll ever see.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Honest to God, lads. Like, you've got to watch it, yeah. And he said to me, can I tell you something? And he's never confided in me like this before. He went, don't lose on a loss. He said, look at me. Look how much being in the gym hurts me sometimes. I finished on a loss, don't finish on a loss. I was like, oh. And then my ex went and spoke to Paul, and then we got on the train and we was in different bits.
Yeah.
And I think people had seen me worked on, I like would speak out for the RMT and the unions, and they've gone, yeah, Mal, going first class, like, you need a bit of like privacy, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And Paul, I think I got and sat with Paul, he was like, I'll tell you now, if I didn't think you would win and I didn't think you'd win a belt, I'd fucking tell you now, Jibby. I'd tell you, because it's too hard on your body. He said, but I just think, please let us just try this, please. And then we came back and we sat down and we assessed. I was like, I'm going away for a bit. I need to get my head together. That really affected my relationship. Like, that was a bit of a nail in the coffin, I think. And that really affected me mental fortitude in a positive way. And I think being out there with Sean, we were both going through it at the same time, was like alignment. It was meant to be. And I come back, I was like, let's fucking go. And I just said to the team, you're not going to hear an argument out of me. I'm not going to fight you. Like, tell me what you want and that's what you'll get. And they was like, right, okay. That was it. There was no murder, there was no this, there was no that, the other. There was too many moving parts. Too many people were fighting. Paddy's fight was before Christmas. I literally probably had 3 weeks with the team. 2 weeks with the team we was away for Christmas in Tenerife, come back 2 weeks. In them 2 weeks, I'm fucking telling you, did it all come together? Oh, we fucking did. Went out there. The easiest week of my life. I cut 2 pounds the night before. Flying. I was flying. And I just went into it thinking, I'm not actually imposter syndrome no more. Like, I'm a vet. This is number fight 11 in the UF. Look at me. Look at the shape I'm in. I'm going out there to have fun. And that was that. And I did. And then after it, before I went in, actually, I said, I'm going to submit this bid. I'm going to armbar it. And I said to Paul, I don't even feel like part of next gen because I haven't finished anyone by sub, even though I've done these grappling comps. I hadn't. And then when I finished the bid, I'm lying on my back. You just there, you're part of the team now, man. And then that was it. And he said to me, you are fucking one hard bird, you are. Like, I don't know many people who could lose back to back the way that I have, at the level that I have, in the way that I have, and come back. And it's a testament to myself and to my team and to my family for being there to put me through it all. But I believe, lads, like Graham Boyle, my manager, a little Cork boy himself, I send him a voice note every couple of weeks. I'm going to be another world champion. I'm going to get that fucking belt. He's like, you've never spoke like this before. I was like, I believe it. Like, I possibly weren't ready at the fight IQ and the strength for this weight division. Yeah. I have had a rebirth at this weight and I'm fucking freezing all the time, lads. Like, I am freezing. I really am, but I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to go. Them spars, Sean will tell you, the spars me and Sean have are tougher than any fights that we've ever lost or won. Fucking mad, like, because we always fight each other at the same time. Do you know what I mean? In camp. And like, I think they're the hardest ones. And if we can get through them, like, my legs are in fucking pieces from her kicks and her nose. She's like, oh, don't punch me in the nose again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, ready.
Yeah. Like the best relation or friendships are formed through the fire.
Proper Irish.
Well, listen, like some of the shit that we've done together that like will never leave.
Do you know
what I mean? Like, we just look at each other and we're like,
it's just a
grave.
look. It's just a look.
To the grave. Like, we've got each other here. And like, and the way that we fight, or like, we're just, you have fighting family, do you know what I mean? And yeah, lucky enough to go through journeys with Patrick as my brother in the gym, and then I've got the likes of fucking Shauna and Leah on the sisters, the female side, on the Irish side to help me through as well.
Definitely. I wanted to ask about your relationship with, it feels weird hearing you call him Patrick because everyone just calls him Paddy, Paddy Pimblett. Was your relationship with him always like little brother, really close, or just since the UFC?
He's like the captain, like he was the most successful first.
Right.
And I would look to him for advice in the cage. That was probably about it. Back in them days. But there's just a vibe. And me and him have got it. Like, the music, the hyper focus, the empathy for other people, the aggression. And we just want everyone to win and do well. And if one of our fight team win, me and him are in that fucking cage with them. Like, we're in it together. If I win, you win. If you win, I win. And when he lost, Jesus Christ, fucking fucked me. When I lost, it done him. Do you know what I mean? And it's a crazy one because they're like, when we're out of camp, we probably don't see each other for a few weeks unless it's to do with work because we need to breathe. And I said to him, it's not half good being back with you for this fucking fight camp. And before this fight camp, we was filming together for 4 or 5 months. Like, we just get it. And like, we flow and we bounce off. Well, it literally be like yous. He knows, yous know what each other's thinking when I'm saying something, and you'll know which one's going to come in and ask that question next. It's proper the same. It's proper the same. And I'm lucky he's got me back. Like, when shit's gone down, he's had me back. And when shit's gone down for him, I've had him. And there's no questions asked. There's no comments from me. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got each other there. And we've both grown up. 2 fucking gobshites a few years ago. Do you know what I mean? But we're trying our best. We've seen more of the world. We're more educated. We're older. we're not as young and reckless sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's a father now. Father of
to
twins
daddy,
as well,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Last question for me, Molly. I'm conscious of time. I want to make sure the lads are still on the clock with Jack Hart. But for you, I know the next fight is brewing in Brazil. You'll go out, take care of business there. What does the ideal next 6-12 months for you then look like after that?
Smash Bruno's head in. I wouldn't mind subbing it, to be fair. I was co-main event and she was like the second fight on. Walked into my warm-up room through fight week. She got me kicked out of my own warm-up room because I'm on Shauna's team, she said. I was like, I am team Shauna, but like I'm not in a corner. Do you know what I mean? But whatever, I'll take it, don't worry, I'll smash it for that. After my fight, going on holiday. I won't say where the first one is because I don't want everyone to go there.
Of course.
But at the end of August, I will be in Ibiza with the girls.
Oh, yeah?
A week. I am getting right out there. And then back to fight camp in September. I want to fight in November. And then could have some good work, some nice TV stuff towards the end of the year.
Yeah, you seem to be dipping your toes. That's another question I wanted to ask because was it Sunday night that the TV show was on?
Monday
night, yeah. We kind of caught the last 10-15 minutes of it. And it was literally right at the point where you were talking about like moving into different business ventures. And now as a fighter and someone with a profile, when you win, business thrives. When you lose, business suffers. And that brings an extra layer of pressure or stress or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think like when I was saying that, it was like it thrives because more people are talking about me.
Yeah.
It's not like we would do lesser than. But what I've had to do is I've had to like hire a PA. Like my whole calendar is just fucking wild.
I don't even want to look at it.
But the main thing, Jazz Dickens told me this. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Jazz, love it.
Jazz 101. You know, like what the fuck does that mean? But the main thing is to keep the main thing.
Yes.
The main thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So fighting's fighting. The last 8 weeks I don't speak to fucking no one or nothing. Outside of it.
Yeah.
We still train every day.
Of course.
Still train twice a day out of camp, 3 times a day in camp. And I make it work. And we're there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've caught me at a really nice sweet spot in camp and in my life, I think.
Oh, thank God.
I kind of felt the opposite the way you were talking, which led me to another question. Is like, right, you're 3 weeks out from your next fight. You've had some of the, you're coming into a better period now, but you've had some of the most difficult moments of your life. You've all this media you're going to have to do on fight week. You've all the pressures of fighting. Why would you sign up to do an extra podcast with 2 twins you never met before?
I think Shauna came on it. I always think shy kids don't get sweets. Shoot your fucking shot.
Yeah.
The Irish thing, the
Irish
it's
thing.
the motherland. It's like, it's mad when I go there to just feel home. I am probably more loved there than I am here. Like as a country as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like there's pockets of working class communities that fucking love me here. And then there's the very far right who don't want to fucking,
don't want to know.
Don't want to touch me with a barge pole.
Yeah.
But when I go over there, it's mad. I just feel like there's loads of family there, loads of bits to do. I'm going back over in August.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Sick.
I won't say which part.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll tell you off screen.
Yeah.
With the best Guinness. So,
I know. We appreciate you doing it.
No problem, boys.
You have any more questions?
No, that's all.
Give me that quick fire shit. Catch me on Meatball Molloy on all platforms. Paul Peters _Liverpool for me scran and at Pimp Gin for me ale. Get involved,
Love it. That's entertainment, food and drink. She has you all covered.
What more do you need?
I know I might do stand up with Tyrone and that next.
Oh yeah?
Do you know, whiskey and what did he call it?
Whiskey and white, is it?
Yeah, whiskey and
Tyrone
white.
and Tommy,
Yeah, that'll be me next.
Make sure we're out of camp for that one.
Sick.
Molly, thank you for your time.
No
You're an
problem,
absolute
boys.
legend.